There are certain names and playoff runs that have etched themselves in our collective memories. Pick any Michael Jordan run from the 1990s, any LeBron James heater from the 2010s, or even Kawhi Leonard's heroics in the spring of 2019. Everyone remembers where they were when they watched the magic unfold. Outside of San Antonio, not many people would throw Tim Duncan in that mix, but they should, because what the big fundamental did in 2003 was the stuff of legend. By the time the 2003 playoffs rolled around, Duncan was at the peak of his powers. He had just locked up his second straight MVP award, becoming the first player since Jordan to go back-to-back, secured his fifth straight all-defensive first-team selection, and his 60-win Spurs entered the postseason as the #1 overall seed. However, spring success was far from certain. After winning the franchise's first championship in 1999, the Spurs had fallen short in 3 straight postseasons, losing to the eventual champion Lakers in 2001 and 2002. It wasn't San Antonio's first experience with this either, as in the years before Duncan was drafted to pair him with David Robinson, the Admiral Spurs had become known for regular season success and postseason disappointment. Some wondered whether the lockout shortened '99 campaign was merely a fluke. Duncan was out to prove those doubters wrong, and the MVP had plenty of help. Robinson, the other half of the Spurs' famed Twin Towers, had one playoff run left in him before calling it a career. Meanwhile, a sophomore point guard named Tony Parker and rookie reserve Manu Ginobili had steadily been earning Coach of the Year Greg Popovich's trust. Bruce Bowen was the league's best 3-and-D role player. Young Steven Jackson was a solid starter. None of it seemed to matter when the playoffs tipped off, as the Spurs dropped Game 1 to the 8th-seeded Suns on a Stephon Marbury buzzer beater, and found themselves in a 2-2 series heading into Game 5, with Duncan yet to look like the 2-time reigning MVP. Pundits were starting to wonder if the Spurs were just paper tigers all along. Jackson and Malik Rose helped San Antonio close the Suns out in 6, setting up another rematch against the defending champion Lakers, led by the all-time duo of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. This would be Duncan's chance to prove he was truly the world's best baller, and certainly its best big man, Shaq be damned. And did he ever? The Spurs blew a 2-0 series lead and nearly blew a 25-point advantage in Game 5. But future Spur Robert Horry's potential game-winning shot rimmed out. Duncan's squad bent but never broke against Shaq and the Lakers. Never known for his pure scoring, Duncan averaged 32 points over the final 4 games of the series, with a 37-point, 16-rebound performance in the Game 6 clincher. The true video game numbers started to pile up in round 3, as Duncan opened the West Final with a 40-point outburst against Dirk Nowitzki's third-seeded Mavericks, albeit in a Game 1 loss.
For San Antonio, here's Duncan. Duncan, that counts! The line frequently, but when they do, they hit their shots. Here's Duncan, yes!
With Dirk's sideline in the back half of the matchup, Dallas was no match for San Antonio. Duncan averaged roughly 28 points and 17 rebounds for the series, but he was saving his best for last. The Eastern Conference champion Nets put up a bigger fight than anyone expected in the finals, but with a front court that featured Kenyon Martin, Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, and Rodney Rogers, New Jersey didn't have a hope in hell of stopping Duncan. The MVP went off for 32 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 7 blocks on 11 of 17 shooting in a Game 1 win, giving everyone a glimpse of the ruthless dominance to come. Duncan's Game 1 game score of 40.8 was the highest ever recorded in a finals contest up to that point, with the record standing for 13 years until LeBron bested it in 2016. Even as Duncan's scoring tailed off over the 6-game series, his defensive impact and dominance on the boards made him look like a man among boys on the game's biggest stage.
Right back to him. And now Tim driving on Kenyon Martin, and got it. Martin faces Duncan.
Too much standing around.
And another shot blocked inside.
His worst performance of the finals still saw him grab 12 rebounds and swat 3 shots, with his all-around game in the championship clincher standing the test of time as one of the great finals performances in basketball history. 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 blocks in 46 minutes of flawless action. That Game 6 masterpiece remains the closest anyone has come to a postseason quadruple-double. And Duncan did it to win the whole damn thing, securing his second title and second Finals MVP award in only his 6th season. To give you an idea of just how insanely dominant Duncan was in 03, that near quad-double wasn't even one of his best 20 performances of the year. Duncan averaged roughly 25 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks in the 2003 playoffs. He averaged 17 rebounds and 5 blocks in the finals. There would be a third title and Finals MVP award in 2005, and 5 rings total by the time he retired. But the greatest power forward of all time was never as good or as complete a player as he was in the spring of 03. In all honesty, few players have ever been that good at any point in time. His greatness was more understated than peers like Shaq or Kobe. Bank shots from the elbow aren't exactly the stuff of playground dreams after all, but he was no less dominant. The big fundamentals, soft touch, discipline, and footwork helped him carve up opposing big men on the offensive end, while his otherworldly positioning, instincts, and timing allowed him to dominate defensively while barely breaking a sweat. Duncan's methodical approach and disdain for attention earned him the nickname Old Man Riverwalk, a nod to one of San Antonio's top attractions. It may not have been flashy, but for the better part of 2 decades, Old Man Riverwalk was inevitable. Just ask anyone who had the misfortune of crossing paths with him back in 2003. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.